Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another round of Mind Your Puckin' Business with your host, Jeffrey Princeman.
Thank you, Dougie Sticks, coming to you from the beautiful studios of Undefeated Media here in Bergen County, New Jersey. This is the Mind Your Puckin' Business podcast brought to you by the Bamboozle Project as well as DraftKings and Raycon. We thank them all for their sponsorship. You can go to the Bamboozle Project and get all of your MYPB gear by going to thebamboozleproject.com. When you go to the checkout screen and you've loaded your cart up with all of the things you want, enter in the MYPB promo code and it will work. I promise you that. It'll take off a good chunk of change, 20%. This is episode 132, Ciento Treinta y Dos. I think if I got to say it again,
that was amazing.
No, I don't think I said that right.
Good. I want to hear it
Episode
again.
132, Ciento Treinta y Dos.
You said it better the first time.
I said it better the first time, but I'm not sure it was right.
Ciento treinta y dos. Something like that.
I'm not sure it was right.
That was great.
Yeah, if it was right.
It sounded pretty good.
Hey, look, if I fooled you, then hey, that's a win. You can send us your questions at any time to mypbshow@gmail.com. And you can also DM us on our Instagram platform at Mind Your Pucking Business, and that is, again, at Instagram. You can listen to the show a variety of different ways. If you like the video feed, you can use YouTube, so I encourage you to do that. And if you like to stream it on a platform with audio streaming capabilities, such as iTunes or Spotify, we are available there if you would like to find us there. Everywhere. And we should also mention, if you are using, if you're going to any ticket events this holiday that requires tickets, concerts, sporting events, whatever that may be, you can go on SeatGeek and buy your tickets for basically any event is out there. SeatGeek will have it. And use the promo code MYPB at checkout, and you will save 20% off your total order.
Wow.
I mean, we're saving.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they don't just give away money.
Right.
You know,
MYPB is saving you 20% off on Bamboozle, and it's saving you $20 on your full total order. Now, if you're going to a Ranger game, right? Like the $20 may not be a ton, but if you were going to like a not less expensive event, $20 is $20, man. That's a free hot dog and a beer at whatever event you're going to. On us.
Like when the bands from the 90s come around.
Yes.
Hootie and Blowfish, Dave Matthews.
I almost was going to Dave Matthews this weekend.
Those tickets are probably like $100.
No, Dave Matthews does well because he's at the Garden this weekend. But if you saw him tonight or last night up at Mohegan Sun, it was dirt cheap. Depends on the venue.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
MSG drives up the price. So speaking of MSG, the New York Rangers, we were on Thursday last week. We're back on our regular spot here this week. On Thursday, they played Minnesota at home. Sunday night at Columbus. And now they kind of go into this kind of mini bye for the rest of the week. But the Rangers just continue to roll. They won versus Minnesota on Thursday. And they won on Sunday night in an interesting game versus Columbus. One thing I'll point out in both those games, and it's been I don't want to say a theme, but they seem to struggle a little bit in the second periods. It seems to have been not their period of choice to show up, but at the end of the day, they're getting points, and that is all that matters. And it's a good time to remind you that points at this time of the year, look, you want to win games in June. That's the ultimate goal. But points in the October and November games count as much as the points in the March and April games when you're really kind of like looking at the standings and seeing who's right on your tail and whose tail you're on. Yeah. So the points now count just as much. Even though it's the beginning of the season, these regular season wins don't mean any less. So it is a very good sign. And you have to also keep in mind, they are doing this, at least for the last week and a half or 2 weeks. They are doing this without Igor Shesterkin, Adam Fox, and Filipino, which is remarkable. Because if you think about Igor for a minute, you have the most important position, I'll say arguably, but I don't think it's arguably myself, in hockey is the goalie. You have a good goalie, you have a chance to win. If you have a terrible goalie, you're going to lose. You have probably the best goalie in the game, if not top 2 or top 3, and you even had him for a couple weeks. You've had to play Jonathan Quick, who people were like freaking out about. He's past his prime and all that, and then you had to pull up Louis Domingue, who Ranger fans know from the Spicy Pork episode of Rangers Penguin Game 1 last spring, back in May of 2022. So you have all of that, and they just continue to win. And look, I don't know if the difference totally is Peter Laviolette, but it's been a very, very impressive starting job for Peter Laviolette for sure. we good technically here? We're good?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Because I see some things going on here in the studio and I never know what to do. So the other thing that should be mentioned, and I don't want to jinx it by saying this, is this finally, are we seeing, because in the last week, Alexis Lafreniere has been nothing short of tremendous. The other night, he had 2 goals. He tied the game in the final seconds and then won it on a really remarkable shootout goal. It was a backhanded goal. Are we finally getting the Alexis Lafreniere we all hoped that we were getting, the generational talent?
I hope so.
You do.
Yeah.
You really hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look, I think it's early to say. However,
Mhm.
you got to be encouraged by what you're seeing. Now, on the flip side of it, Capo Caco remains totally just like he's a deer in headlights.
Well, isn't our buddy Blake
Wheeler
having a ton of points?
No, he's not having a ton of he's not having a ton of points. He had when were we on? We were on
Wednesday. No, we were on Thursday.
So yes, he scored Thursday night.
All right,
so
I
he
saw
scored
that.
Thursday night. And I don't know if you saw. Well, you saw because we got tagged in this, because now it's becoming a thing that I hate Blake Wheeler. I don't I want to just say one thing, and I've said this before, and I think this is really important. I don't hate Blake Wheeler.
We don't hate any
but I don't hate him because his contract isn't bad. It's the fact that, like, you have a guy in an $800,000 contract who's looking like he's skating in cement, and he's now playing on the top line. It's like, that's not really who's going to get Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider going at 5-on-5 play. So that's my thing with that. So I want to bring up something. And the other night, did you watch? You probably didn't, and it's fine. You didn't watch the Columbus game, did you?
No.
Okay. So
bits and pieces.
Okay, so Sunday night, the Rangers are playing the Blue Jackets. It is 3-2. The Rangers are down a goal. Maybe no, it was 2-1. Okay. I think it was 2-1 at this point. It was either 2-1 or 3-2. The Rangers are down a goal in the second period. And the play is in the Columbus end. Will Cooley shoots the puck, automatically reacts that it's in, hands up in the air, goal light is on behind the net, and it's a goal. Right? I mean, you're watching on TV. Now, I wasn't there. I didn't use my tickets that night. But you think the puck is in the net, right? The referee has no idea where the puck is. So, because modern technology, we're not living in 1960s. Yeah. We have, like all major sports have now, a review system, right? And we always are going to review, like the NFL with a scoring play. It's so important to get a scoring play right in the NFL. The NHL is the same, where it's like, look, if we're going to reward you a goal, we got to make sure it's in. So we go to review. Now, the protocol that the NHL has is the referees are sitting there with an iPad, where it looks like some sort of iPad device, which, by the way, I don't want to get, it's not worth going down this road because it's not that important. But when I look at the iPads, I'm like, there's got to be better technology out. Like, they're not the most expensive devices that are out there, right? You can tell that by looking at them. All right, so they go to Toronto. Now, while they go to the Situation Room, who's impartial, right? I mean, the referees are impartial too, okay? While they go to the Situation Room, what does the MSG broadcast do? They show you the replay at home, right? Was it in or not? Will Cooley shoots the puck. The puck is clearly in the net, right? There's not really a dispute. You can zoom in with the technology that we have. You can see where the red goal line is, and the rule is that the entire puck has to cross the line. Can you see white between the red goal line and the puck? Yeah. Right? It's a goal. It's a goal. Okay. So Sam and Joe, who are on the MSG broadcast, say the obvious. It's a goal. I'm sitting there watching it. It's a goal. My wife is sitting there watching with me. It's a goal. I'm on 1,000 text chains. It's in. It's in. And we're texting with someone who's at the game who doesn't have the luxury of having the replay because they won't show it to you there. Yeah. They don't always show it to you there, right? So he wants to know, understand, hey, guys, you're watching. It's in. It's in. It's going to count. This is the longest review I have ever seen I think it was 7.5 minutes. Now, while the review is going on, you're sitting there and saying to yourself, what could they what are you reviewing? He shot the puck. It wasn't like a scramble, like the goalie trying to cover it and maybe the ref inadvertently lost sight of the puck. The puck is shot and it's in the net. There's no dispute of what's going on, right? So the referee comes on and rules it no goal without a real explanation. Now,
They don't have like New York like they do in the NFL. Like New York chimes in, like they like have home base headquarters, referee headquarters.
The headquarters are in Toronto. Same thing.
Okay.
Yes, it's like you're talking about MLB. The MLB has this
So does
thing.
the NFL.
Oh, is the NFL out of New York
Yeah.
too? Okay, so the NHL is out of Toronto,
Okay.
right? So after reviewing it on what looks like a 1983 iPad with Toronto, who's out of the country, they have concluded it is not a goal.
So and they saw the same replay you did.
Saw
on
the same replay without an explanation.
Toronto saw the same replay.
Same replay. Now look. I'm bringing this up, and I wasn't going to bring it up because if the Rangers lost by a goal, it would look like I was coming on here saying that we have a problem with the way things are handled because, of this. And, well, they lost by a goal. He's bitter. He's upset. I'm not. They won. But what we saw the other night, the NHL needs to fix. And the other thing is, it was so, incredibly ass backwards that I almost felt like, and they won't do this, but the NHL needs to put out some sort of statement or to at least to explain why, so we know going forward the protocol. Peter Laviolette, the Ranger coach, was so annoyed that in the beginning of the third period, before the lights come on again at the game, when the players take the ice, he was already back out talking to the refs about it. It was, and we still 2 days later have no idea on the reasoning why this goal doesn't count.
What did they say? No goal, and then just skate away.
The referee, to their credit. Now, I think part of this, because one of my friends is really into hockey officiating and he knows what he's talking about. Okay. He is telling me that part of the problem on this play was the fact that the referee, Kevin Pollock, who was the ref on one of the two refs, he was the ref on that defensive end. He's also a senior ref. He's gotten Stanley Cup finals before. So we're not talking like a new ref out of position. This is a senior guy. Okay.
Experience, not senior citizen.
Exactly.
So he could see.
Yes. Well, he's seen his stuff. He knows where he should be. Okay. He instantly blows the whistle. He doesn't know where the puck is. Okay. But he does the right thing, which is to say, look, I don't know if it was in. I can't see it, but this is 2023. We have the ability to go on a camera and watch. We'll go sort it out on the replays. So we all at home do the same thing, sort it out. But it's clear as day in. I don't understand. It makes no sense.
Was the whistle blown before it went in?
No. And there can't be intent to blow the whistle, because why would you be intending to blow the whistle if the puck went in right away? It doesn't make any sense. Now, there's a lot of people that said that the Rangers never. So we put up on the Instagram page. I don't know if you saw this, and I asked for this, so I'm going to take it. We said, can you give a reason why this wasn't a goal? And probably 80% of the responses we got. So maybe there were 100 people that wrote in, on the thing. It was nonstop. Well, the Rangers never get the calls. Look, I've never been a conspiracy guy. I know there's people out there, Gary Bettman, the NHL, they hate the Rangers, they hate the Garner. I don't go down that road, right? The Rangers have gotten plenty of calls in the world, and there's been plenty of times they've been screwed. But I've never once been that guy that sits there and tells you that the Rangers are screwed by the league. I'm not doing it. But if you are, and again, it's not me, if you are, that what you saw the other night is your number one piece of evidence if you ever take the NHL to court, because that
on the fire,
awful, and we still don't know. Will Cooley shoots the puck. It is in. It's in. It's not even debatable. It's not like, again, the puck is in front of the net and they're scrambling and the ref loses sight of it and then it goes in. I would get that. You'd be annoyed, but I understand because that's the rule. Yeah. The rule here is if you shoot the puck and it goes in the net, it's a goal. And we reviewed it for 7.5 minutes. What the hell are we reviewing?
How much space was the goal?
It wasn't. So
it wasn't like a hair, but it wasn't like 5 feet. It was.
I will show you the picture. No, probably less than that, but it's clear enough that you could see it was in.
It's not a hair.
When you when you zoom in
on the line,
no,
it's like
no. When you zoom in,
more than one finger.
Yes.
Okay.
Or thereabouts, but you don't need more than that because technology you can zoom in.
Yeah.
If you can see white beyond the between, you have the red goal line and the black puck. If you see white between the two, it's clear as day in.
And then it just sat there, or did like the goalie?
No, it sat there. It was sitting. It was that was what was worse. It was sitting there. It literally is sitting there.
Oh my god!
And we're watching, and even Joe Micheletti, and I mean, look, Joe Micheletti, you like him or hate him. Joe Micheletti is sitting there the other day on the broadcast saying, Sam, I'm not sure what they're reviewing. It's in, and he's right. Like we're all sitting there. It's clear. I mean, it is clear as day in the net.
And Toronto didn't get involved?
Toronto does get involved, but we don't get a reason. The ref comes on the microphone
Yeah.
and says basically, no goal. We can pull up that comment, and I'm sure it's not who it is, but Gary Bettman, whoever, no goal. It is no goal. Gary Bettman's goal. It's no goal. It's no goal. The puck must go in the net and be seen clearly by the official. But then what is the point of Toronto, right? If the ref doesn't see the puck goes in, but Toronto can clearly say, you know what, you missed it, it's in. Scoring is so critical.
Yeah. So like, no, but that can't. There's so many times where the puck like dwindles through the legs and slides in. The official doesn't clearly see it.
It's bad, man. I
can understand if they thought it went in the rafters and they blew the whistle early. Like sometimes, like in the NFL, it's a fumble and they run it back and they blow the whistle and he really wasn't down. You know what I mean? They blow a whistle too early.
Yeah.
I can understand if it's blown whistle early, but like you don't see the puck, whatever. It's in the net, dude.
I mean, I will show you when we are done before I leave. Yeah. There is an image that someone like kind of put together. Give them credit, like they're more graphic savvy than I clearly am, where you can zoom in and see the white, the black, like it's not really debatable. So and Chris brings up a good point that Sam and Joe never complained like they did on that call. And that's how ridiculous it was, because Sam and Joe never complain, right? There'll be times. That's a good point, because I do like that aspect of Sam and Joe compared to other broadcast crews. I'm not calling out ones in particular. I'm really not. I'm just saying I know there are some that are homerish. John Sterling on the Yankees would be one if you want to go that way. But I just, they never complained. And it was shot, puck goes in, puck's in the net. We review it for 7.5 minutes, or we'll no goal and don't tell you why.
It's crazy.
So, very, very frustrating to say the least. So, the Rangers now have this mini bye. It is not actually their official bye, actually. They are on a 6-day break, which they can certainly use, because if you think about it, Igor Shurkin can continue to use the rest. Philip Hedl, who we don't say anything about except it's an upper body injury, so the mind obviously goes to concussion, is hurt. And Lindgren the other night got hurt. And that was another call by this officiating crew the other night. They basically... on the Lindgren penalty, and again, you didn't watch the game, he gets hit in the boards. Now, they call it 5-minute boarding right away. All right? They zoom in on the replay.
7 minutes later.
Well, they show you the replay. And now, this is another thing that here's something the NHL does right. If I'm going to give out a 5-minute major, let me make sure I'm making the right call, because that's a big thing to do. That can change the game.
5 minutes, yeah.
Right, so 5 minutes. So we're going to sit here and review a 5-minute major. They do that, and they come back and they say it was not a 5-minute major for boarding. First off, it wasn't boarding. Ryan Lindgren gets plowed with an elbow to his face. It's as blatant as a elbow as you could ever see. It's not a boarding, and they end up making it a 2-minute call. Now, this is how I thought, and I'm sure I'm wrong, that when he initially called the 5-minute boarding, this was because he felt bad, because literally 3 minutes later was that shady no goal call that was clearly in the net.
Yes.
So, but yes. So we'll see. So the Rangers go on a break. They go to a rematch from the first round playoffs. They go to New Jersey on Saturday when they will be back on. Before we get to that, I'll just say one last thing. Capo Caco still is lost. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think with as good of a job as Peter Laviolette has done here, and he's done. I mean, look, if you were giving him a grade at this point, it's an A+. It's nothing short of that.
Wow.
I would like to think there's some sort of plan in the mind of a game plan or a protocol we're following with Capo Caco, because right now,
So he's still sleeping, even though he's on the third line. He's not like waking up and no sense of urgency.
No.
Is he moping around?
He is moping. He's moping around. Yes. And we can see the comments coming in that disagrees, and that's fine. But and the podcast does not just discuss bad calls, Dennis. So, all right, we're going to shift gears. We're going to bring in our guest. We've had her here before, and it's actually great timing with the Rangers playing the Devils, as I mentioned, on Saturday night. Kind of a cool time slot, too, a Saturday night game. And this is Kristy Flannery with the Hockey News. How are you, Kristy?
Hi, how are you?
Good to have you back. Thank you for coming back.
Oh, thanks.
So let me ask you this. We don't obviously follow the Devils a lot, but we follow enough being in the same area, same division, team to watch out for. What is going on with Jack Hughes? I know it wasn't day to day, it was billed as week to week. When do you think the Devils will see Jack Hughes back on the ice?
Yeah, so it's a shoulder injury, and actually, after yesterday's practice, Lindy Ruff said that he might join the team in Pittsburgh. Didn't say anything about him playing, but him obviously rejoining the team is a step in the right direction. So he might be back sooner than anyone thought.
Okay, I guess I could just change the name and ask you the same question with Nico Hischier. What's the deal with him?
There's no official timetable on Nico, so that is still a question mark.
Okay, so can they tread? I mean, look, these are your two top centers. I mean, it's pretty important positions. Can they tread in your minds without them both?
If they can put together a 60-minute game, which they have not been able to do yet, they should be able to tread water. I think the biggest thing is you're without, the two best centers that you have, arguably the most creative centers that, players that you have. And the defense has been really struggling. And so Lindy Ruff talked about, the team needing to kind of figure out a different way to score and a different way to win without those two players. And he kind of hit the nail on the head. So are they capable of treading water without Jack and Nico? Yes. It depends, though, on what kind of if they can actually play a full 60-minute game.
Okay, so in the beginning of the season, we did our season preview show of the Metro Division, and I said, look, everyone is so high in the Devils, but to me, the concern is easy. It would be goaltending, right? I mean, obviously, Vanacek in the playoffs, you had to bring Schmidt in. It doesn't look much better, and as you just mentioned, defensively, it's still a concern, especially with the amount of goals getting let up per game.
Yeah.
Do you think Tom Fitzgerald will look to make a move at some point? I mean, there's not a lot of things you can do with a goalie. It's not like there's a bona fide great goalie on the trade market. Or are they just of the notion that, look, when the spring comes, we're going to hope one of these two get hot?
I've said this a lot lately. I don't even know if you can properly critique the Devils goaltenders just yet, just because the defense has been struggling so much in front of them. Against Colorado, they gave up 13 odd man rushes. Like, I'm not sure how you could sit down and really properly judge the goaltending yet. I think Fitzgerald's always looking. He said that he's always evaluating goaltending and seeing what's out there and if there's something out there that's better than what he has. But right now, I personally don't think goaltending is the biggest issue on this team. I don't even think that's close to being the biggest issue.
Okay, so if we were to fast forward in a time machine and find ourselves in much warmer weather, which would be nice, and let's say we were in April and not dealing with this November weather, and the Devils had game one of the first round tonight, I'm assuming the plan would be, as of now, Vitek Vanacek would be who they would think, if all went according to plan, who would be in net?
He's gotten the most starts this year, so that would be a fair assessment.
Okay. All right, last year trade deadline, Devils make the big splash, Timo Meier. Mm-hmm. I got to say, and again, I don't follow the Devils, obviously, at the level you do or the level I follow the Rangers. I don't hear anything really about this guy. Can you explain? Has he not fit in there? Is it been a matter of time? Like, what's going on with Timo Meier?
So Timo is 10 points in 13 games. So he's not struggling. I think the thing with Timo is, he falls into the category of a player where there was a ton of expectation around him. And you're taking a player who was the guy in San Jose, everything went through him, and you put him in New Jersey, where guess what? He's not the guy anymore. There's Jack Hughes, there's Jesper Bratt, there's Tyler Toffoli, there's Nico Hischier, there's Dawson Mercer if you want to throw him in there. And I think it's more, you're seeing a player who's used to having everything go through him, and now he's a player where he's just trying to fit in and find a new role. So I think he's doing well. It's just the expectation around him that I think is leaving people wanting more out of him, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you brought up a name. I'm going to ask you the question. This morning, I had mentioned to someone who's a huge Devil fan that you were coming on. And I said, is there anything you want me to ask her? And I thought the question was going to be, when's Jack coming back? All that. It wasn't. It was Dawson Mercer who's struggling. And you just mentioned him. Do you think the Devils are expecting him to turn it around? Is this a slump? What's going on with him?
I think when you look at Dawson, I think Dawson's a good example of people only focus on points. when they look at a player. And if a player's not offensively contributing, I think any other way they contribute doesn't really get seen. Like he's been relied on the penalty kill. He offensively has been snake bitten. You can't sit down and deny that. He has 2 goals through 13 games. But it's like Lindy Ruff said, he's like, I'm not worried about Dawson. And to be honest, I'm really not either at this point. Like he had a little bit of a slow start, but like which player who doesn't go through those like ebbs and flows and like right and like the streaky scoring. I think Dawson's fine, to be completely honest.
Okay. The Devils in the offseason lose Andrew Brunette, who I believe he was the associate head coach, right? Last year, he was like, the top of the assistants, if I remember. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he leaves, gets the job in Nashville, replacing, I believe, was John Hines, right? Wasn't he who he replaced, if my memory serves me right? Who was the head coach there last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one ex-Devil assistant coach fills the ex-Devil head coach job. All right. So he goes there. Do you think that this team misses him on the bench? Because, I mean, look, he's an excellent coach. Yeah. Is the loss of him, was it understated at all?
Andrew Brunette did an interview after he left, and he was saying about like the power play, because that's what he was in charge of running. And the Devils' power play really wasn't that good last year. It was average, but I think when you look at the personnel that were on the power play, you expected that power play to be what it is this year. And I think when you look at that alone, I don't really know why there's so much banter about were the teams missing Brunette, because look what Travis Green has done in the first month of running the power play and being with the team. So I don't know if it's, I don't know. I go back and forth because I think Travis Green's done a phenomenal job to start. I mean, to be honest, the power play is really the reason they've been a top 3 team in the Metro. I think they're 4th now, but the power play was really the only thing that was working really well for them to start. I don't know. That's one of those things where I'm not on the bench. Players might feel completely different. There might have been things behind the scenes that, Brunette brought that I don't know about. So that's a really hard one. I can only judge it based on the power play. And as far as the power play goes, Green's doing a better job.
So last question before we let you go. Obviously, Saturday night first matchup or the rematch between the two. Certainly sounds like Nico won't be back, and Jack sounds like he would be out as well. From what you're saying, Hughes, even though he might join the team, he's still. I'm assuming he's not skating, right?
They didn't say if he was skating or not, but I know that there's been a lot of reports saying that Jack's like itching to get back on the ice. So I wouldn't be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out of the lineup versus the Rangers. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to hope that he's out. Tell me he should come back next week. Tell me he can wait a little bit. That is Christy Flannery. Thank you so much for joining us as always, and we'll have you back, as I'm sure we could possibly be meeting up head-to-head in the spring again. So it would be good to have you back then as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So good insight there. Our executive producer, who's, never on camera in the corner there, is a huge Devil fan. So for him, that was like, royalty. You could see it. You could see him over in the corner all excited. So that is some good stuff. And the Rangers, like I said, are on kind of this mini break bye. We should mention also Henrik Lundqvist. Yes, last night and I meant to say this earlier and I didn't, and that's on me. Last night gets officially inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Nice.
So we have to clearly say congratulations. Now, look, I think he's the greatest Ranger goaltender of all time.
Wow.
That is not a slight on Mike Richter, who brought a Stanley Cup. I didn't really see Mike Richter's whole career I did Henrik. But whether you want to put Richter 1 or 2 or whatever, or even throw maybe Igor in there at someday, hopefully, Henrik Lundqvist, as good as he was on the ice, he was always the best dressed man off the ice. And on top of that, he was just great off the ice in terms of dealing with the fans and the charities with the kids. Like the funny thing about Henrik, and I always think about this, he was a 7th round pick. And I remember, I'm pretty sure of this, that when he was on the Rangers, and I think it was 2005, he was the backup. No one knew who he was. And they were playing at the Devils at the Meadowlands at Brendan Byrne on a Saturday night. We could look this up if I'm right. And Kevin Weeks was the starting goalie. And Kevin Weeks was either like a late scratch that day. He was injured or sick or something. And Henrik Lundqvist started his first game. We were like, who is this guy? And, 7th round pick. He's a bum. He's not going to be good. And here he is, first ballot Hall of Famer. So, and you could pull up that comment, Hank 1, Richter 2. is in agreement. I mean, it would be a great debate. We could do this on Instagram. We could do a debate with people who's the best Ranger goalie of all time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know that there's a wrong answer, right? I mean, there isn't. I guess it's a matter of opinion. But Henrik Lundqvist, just an amazing guy. And I'll say this about him also. He now is doing, what do they call it? Whatever the Rangers lounge they do in the pregame on the pregame show, and he's there at the intermissions. He's very good as a broadcaster. For a guy who never, had broadcasting experience, he's excellent. And he's on the TNT set for the national games as well. And he was a super, super competitive guy. I don't ever remember having seeing a player Ranger that hated to lose as much as Henrik Lundqvist. If you go back to like the step-on goal, or actually no, the Marty St. Louis goal in 2014, they played Montreal in Game 4 on a Sunday night of Memorial Day weekend. St. Louis won it, and I think it was double overtime. And you see Henrik just charge down the rink that they won, or the step-on goal, same thing from his net to that far end of the Garden. The guy was so competitive. And just also, so yeah, I mean, nothing but congratulations. And I mean, just an amazing 16 years run on Broadway. So
absolutely.
So it is, by the way, with Thanksgiving next week, it may be too early to start decorating for the holidays or not, but it is never too early to start your holiday shopping, especially with Halloween over. So you can shop Raycon products right now and save 50% off, because that's their early Black Friday sale is going on right now. Why wait till next Friday? You've heard me talk about Raycon's product before, such as the everyday headphones. I use them when I travel through Newark Airport. Raycon makes the name for themselves in the audio space with products like their everyday earbuds, known for delivering high quality and thoughtful features like a 32-hour battery life and perfect in-ear fit and lasting comfort. And this past year, they expanded their entire business with the introduction of Raycon Home and Raycon PowerTech. Their 5-star reviewed Magic 180 cable allows you to charge iOS, micro USB, and Type-C devices 8 times faster with 100-watt power delivery. Raycon is known for delivering high quality and thoughtful features at half the price of other tech brands. It's no wonder they have racked up tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. So to get everyone in the holiday shopping a little bit early, they're offering 20% off everything on their site, with select products off to 50% off. So beat the crowds and save now. Trust me, you do not want to miss Raycon's early Black Friday sale. Hurry now to buyraycon.com/THPN to get 20 to 50% off site-wide. That's buyraycon.com/THPN to score up to 50% off Raycon products. Buyraycon.com/THPN. And the NFL season is charging along, and it is going strong, and DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking up new customers like Kurt from New Jersey with an offer that's even stronger. Bet $5 on any game this week and score $200 instantly in bonus bets. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweetener offer every game this November. Don't be a stick in the mud. You can wager this week's coming Monday Night Football Super Bowl rematch between the Chiefs and the Eagles, or wager on Sunday's showdown between Jeff Adelson's South Florida Miami Dolphins and the Las Vegas Raiders. Get in on the game day greatness. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet $5. That's THPN only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problems gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly.
Very nice.
NFL, you ready?
Yes.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
The Rangers are playing Columbus.
Yes.
Okay? It's on the same time as the Jets at Vegas.
Yes.
Jess and I are watching the Ranger game, of course. I'm aware that the Jet game is on, and I am aware that, if they have a chance to make a run, they probably need to win this game. Okay? So we are going to back and forth between, I know what you're laughing at. We're going back and forth between the broadcast.
Yes.
I flip over in the fourth quarter and I see Zach, the Jets have a chance.
Yeah.
They have the ball.
Yeah.
Two things happen that is just amazing to me.
What's those?
The first interception with like 3 minutes left, Zach Wilson takes him down and they're intercepted.
Mm-hmm.
That is just, typical Zach Wilson. But the last thing is typical Jets. The Hail Mary. Did you see the replay of this?
Yeah.
Now, basically, if you didn't see it, the Jet receiver jumps up to get it. Now, I don't know if he would have got it because anyone who's like, it's not 100% certain, maybe 50-50. And his own player comes from above and swats it out of the way. I mean, it's just typical Jets.
I don't know about swats it, but they both kind of were going.
Well, he did bat it away. Well, he batted it away. Swat may be.
Garrett Wilson came in out of nowhere, and he's like here, and then like the tight end Coughlin, whatever his name is, Coughlin, is like trying to get it too, and it's just, and then it kind of just like falls right in front of him.
Yep, it's typical Jets. And the Giants. Now, I had a friend actually. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm not going to get in trouble for telling you this, but so Sunday, I am the most, like when I tell you, I am the most unhandy individual. I am the most unhandy individual known to man. I promise you that. Okay.
Right.
Like around the house, Jess will do anything handy because I don't know what I'm doing. She put together a desk. I like everything. Right.
Wow.
So we have a light bulb. We have 2 light bulbs that sit like above our garage that you need a ladder to get up on. I don't own a ladder.
You got a big garage.
No, it's not that big. Don't get that excited. So I can't get up there because I don't have a ladder. So I have a friend who we read in the DraftKings promo, Kurt from New Jersey, comes over to change the light bulb, right?
Nice.
For me, because he's a great guy. Kurt from New Jersey is the best. We've tried to get him on the show. We've been trying to get Kurt on for a while, for like 2 years. Hopefully, maybe for our 200th show, he'll come on.
Nice.
Any event, he comes over. He's up on the ladder, and we're talking about football that day. And he asked me who my MYPB picks were. So I said one of my picks was the Giants plus 16.
Yeah.
And he says to me, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah. It's a rivalry game. Dallas is so, intermittent." And I said, "I feel pretty good about it." So then I leave. I didn't watch the afternoon because Abby had a game. So we were at a game. And I look, what was the final? 40.
Yeah, it was more than 16.
It was more than 16.
I made the bet too. I was like, yeah, they'll keep it close.
Yes. It was
not close.
It was rough.
Throwing in the towel for the New York Giants.
If you're the Giants, aren't you better?
Yeah.
You're better off if you lose. And I know this is a controversial thing for people to say, but if I'm a Giant fan and you're playing the Commanders this weekend, what is the point of having 20 minutes of happiness that you won, you saw your team win, rather than knowing I can put myself in a position to maybe get Caleb Williams or some of these other quarterbacks that they say are decent in the draft and try to set my franchise forward 15 years rather than 20 minutes.
So like one, if we win out for the rest of the season, do we even make the playoffs? I don't even think so. 2,
you're not going to win out. You're not going to win another game.
Yeah. So 2, do we need pieces? Yes. You think the quarterback position is the one we definitely need to replace right now?
If you could get an upgrade of going for Caleb Williams or Daniel Jones going forward,
I get that. But what I'm saying is no quarterback is going to be successful behind that line.
But the line will change at some point in the trajectory of his career.
Okay, so why don't we get?
What would you get?
The best lineman in the world.
And you still have to fill 3 other linemen, and you have Danny Jones under center.
I mean, you have the best center, and he just blocks 4 guys. I don't know.
I
don't know.
I mean, at some point, you need to. I just think give up on Daniel Jones, and if I could lose the next 7 weeks of total meaningless games with Tommy DeVito, who's living in his parents' house in Ridgewood, as my quarterback, that can set me up in a quarterback position for the next 15 years, I'm taking him. And Caleb Williams may be overrated, as one of the comments came in, but they are saying that this is a draft that has a plethora of first-round talent at the quarterback position. So maybe if Caleb Williams isn't the guy, maybe it's the next guy in line.
Okay.
The guy from Washington, I think, is the second guy in line.
So like everybody with a losing record won last week. Except
you needed Carolina. Carolina has the one up on you because they have 1 win versus
You're a Carolina fan?
Oh, the Patriots. Our executive producer, B-Rock, in the corner, is a Patriot fan.
They're the worst league in the league.
It would be.
I thought Giants. I thought Giants had the worst record.
They have 2 wins. The Patriots, because they beat the Jets. Yeah, so they're tied with the Giants. And you know what? They play the Giants in a week. So it'll be both teams are going to play to lose. They should just onside kick right away.
And Belichick's going to do something shady.
Yeah, I don't know.
Patriots have 2 wins. Where are the Giants here?
2. They have 2 also.
Oh, that's the National. Yes, they have 2. But the Patriots are 2-8. All right, 2-8, 2-8. Titans have 3 wins.
The Titans, they'll have that young quarterback.
Cardinals have 2 wins.
Cardinals would be, you know what?
Panthers have 1 win.
Right. And the Panthers just drafted Bryce Young last year.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe they do give up on him. I don't know.
That's pretty. Yeah, it's stink for him, man. First round draft pick, right? First pick.
I would think so. So last week on the picks, it came down to man, we got a backdoor cover screwed us.
Yeah.
I'll play it in chronological order. B-Rock's Pats, we had them +1 versus the Colts in Europe. They lost. They that didn't hit. The Giants +16 didn't hit. The Browns +6. I told you that their games, the Browns and Ravens games historically are always close, and 6 points was a ton, and the Browns won the game outright. And the other one I told you is I was so done and fed up with Green Bay that the Steelers -3 thought was a gimme, and it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it came down to Chargers and Lions. We had the Chargers +2.5, and they lost by 3, half a point. It's the way it works.
It's the way it works.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
2 and 3 last week. So here are the week 10 picks for Mind Your Pucking Business. I like the
10 already.
Are we
That's
in week
crazy.
10? No, are we in week
We're
11?
at 11.
We're week 11 already?
Either way, it's flying by.
Wait a sec, B-Rock, is that true? We're in week 11?
Yeah.
Woo!
Right?
What do I say every year? No season goes faster than the NFL season.
Yeah.
Wow. Here are our week 11 picks for Mind Your Pucking Business. I like the Bengals +3.5 at the Ravens. Both teams coming off bad losses, and I think the Bengals will try to respond, and 3.5 is a lot. I like the fact that I get coverage there a little bit more than a field goal. I like the Dolphins -12 at home versus the Raiders. The Raiders have been bad. Don't tell me that they're 2-0 under Antonio Peace. They beat the Giants and the Jets. That doesn't count. And the Dolphins are annoyed and coming off of a bye. I'm taking the Dolphins -12. I like the Packers +3.5 at home versus the Chargers. The Chargers do not play well in cold weather, and I am not trusting that defense that I just saw get lit up at home. So I'm taking the Packers +3.5 at home. Last night, the Broncos went up in Buffalo. I'm going to continue the trend. Broncos -2 at home versus Minnesota. Minnesota, obviously, without Kirk Cousins, without Justin Jefferson. That -2 is not a lot. They're playing a lot better under Sean Payton. It took some time. Give me the Broncos -2. And I have to pick this game. I have to do it. I don't like this game, but we have a Super Bowl rematch Monday Night Football next week. The Eagles at the Chiefs. The Eagles are getting 3.5. I'm taking the Eagles -3, +3. So
You're taking the filthy, dirty Eagles.
I'm taking, speaking of the Eagles, I am planning with Jess, not this week, next week, to go to Philadelphia to the Rangers. The Rangers schedule.
Can you egg Lincoln Financial while you're there?
It is across the field from the arena. You can see it, and Citizens Bank Ballpark is right there. It's all in South Philly. We are debating, probably going to do it. The Rangers are in Philly next Friday afternoon. So you have Thanksgiving on Thursday, and then you have the Ranger game. You can drive down Friday morning, 1 o'clock game. We'll go get dinner somewhere in Philadelphia.
You're going to go to filthy Philadelphia.
Yes.
On Black Friday.
Yes. We are going to go to filthy Philly. John Tortorella and his Philadelphia Flyers. Yes.
Philly fans don't do it for me.
They don't do it for anyone. They're the worst.
Yeah.
So we thank our sponsors as always. We thank the Bamboozle Project. Again, go to www.thebamboozleproject.com. Use promo code MYPB. Save yourself a whopping 20% off your order. We thank DraftKings as well and Raycon. And remember, when you go on SeatGeek and buy your holiday tickets for any event around the world, use promo code MYPB and save yourself 20% off the total order. Saving money and winning.
Perfect timing. The holiday season's coming up, Black Friday. We're already saving you money.
We have a Thanksgiving show next week, I heard.
Ooh, buddy. Like on Thanksgiving?
No. Are we on next Thursday?
You'll be here on your own.
Are we on next Thursday?
Don't get away my turkey.
Is Undefeated Media open on Thanksgiving?
No. I get my people need the rest and family time.
Okay.
And turkey.
I didn't know if the Undefeated Media headquarters here.
And this is going to be the first year that they have Black Friday football.
Yes. The Jets and Dolphins.
Yeah.
So
that's a big one.
Yes.
That's a big one.
It will be a very big one. And the Jets will probably get lit up.
I don't know about lit up, but we'll figure out a way.
I believe that is now I'll be at the Ranger game in Philly that day, but I believe that the game is an Amazon Prime game, like one of those weird.
Yeah, it's a
Prime. Like you can't really watch it. So your hometown team is on, but you can't watch it.
I think it's free.
Well, if you're in the area, yeah.
No, I think you can watch on Amazon Prime for free. I don't think you need to.
You don't need to have it. Okay,
that's what I think I saw in the commercial. I'm not sure.
Cool.
which would be a new development.
That would be cool.
Because then like they really are like a television channel.
Yes. So the Rangers, Saturday night, they go to Newark for a rematch with the Devils. And then Monday night, they will be down in Dallas, which will be a good test. Dallas is playing well. If you saw that we did put up our power rankings yesterday, we do have Dallas up pretty high. And we will be on Tuesday. And then the Rangers will be busy Thanksgiving weekend. They are at Pittsburgh Thanksgiving Eve. They're at Philly the Friday after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and then the next day they're home versus the Bruins. And then they're home all that following week. They're home versus Buffalo and Detroit that following week. So a lot of home games coming up. And then I believe they're home with San Jose. David Quinn makes his return to the Garden.
A nice home stretch.
Nice home stretch. If you have season tickets like me, you should try and find a game. I will do better with one thing. The other thing, the other day, someone had wrote that I wasn't at the game. I don't go to a lot of games. I have season tickets, but I don't go to a lot of games. That I need to post when I'm going to be there because we'll do like a MYPB meetup.
Yeah.
But I got to find a game that
not with people like this.
No, I know it is. It'll be coming down. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. We thank you
Not
for
even a real name.
No.
It's hiding behind some alter ego.
I know. If you are in the hockey scene in North Jersey, you might know who it is. You'll probably know him. Maybe
not that cool. I can't use his real name.
If you're familiar with the North Jersey,
Late Night Louie.
No, not Late Night Louie. If you're familiar with the North Jersey Youth Roller Hockey Association, which is starting up actually in the next couple of weeks. If you like hockey in the area and you live in the area, it's a great thing to watch. You would probably know the name. We'll leave it at that. And we can get him in one day. How about this?
I don't want that guy here.
No, you would, because he's actually he actually smart with the Rangers when he wants to be.
Loser.
All right, that's it for us. We thank you guys for tuning in. We will talk to you next week.